Afternoon everyone, and welcome to another live stream of the dev challenge that I'm currently working on. Just another short stream, but I'm going to try and get the saving of the high score added and start adding the music in that I've now been provided with. Hey Atu, you alright? Doing a cheeky lunchtime stream. So first off, I'm going to start adding the saving of the high scores in. I've currently added the logic in for checking if there's a save file there and loading all that in, and if not, setting it to the basic default settings. So now we will add in, when the game is over, the logic to update the high score. So first of all, we need to compare what we've got saved with the current score and see if it's higher and needs saving. So we'll check in the dictionary and we won't do it there. We shall compare a couple of system objects. Compare two values, the first one being the dictionary, and it's get, and then its high score is the key in the dictionary that we need to check. And if that high score is less than the player score, I think it is, player score. How's the timer looking? I'm currently got 11.5 hours near enough left, so I'll have this finished, I'd have thought, within the next hour, hour and a half. So I think we're being a bit over generous with the time. Although the assets that were created, they only took an hour and a half initially, and then a couple of hours for the guy to make the music, so it's predominantly been coding the game. Got a meeting, we'll cheers for popping by and thanks for the lurk. So if the high score is less than the player score, then what we're going to be doing is setting that value to the player score. So we'll get the system object and we will set the key, and the key that we're setting is high score, and we will set that to the value that we've got in player score, not player can move, player score. So that, what that'll do, we'll check the score. If it's higher, the player score, than the high score, it's then going to save it, and that's all we need to do to update that. So we'll go to the main menu now, which I've not got open, and we will add some text on there just to display the score. So we'll use a sprite font and we'll call that high score. Sprite font, no, sprite font, and we shall got to pop it on the wrong layer, so I shall just add that separately now, drag it in, and I have some sprite fonts already saved, so I will add those in. I'll just use this one, 18 by 20, so update the width and height to 1820 to match what I've got. Change that to white, it then that's the colour of the font I've actually brought in. Set the alignment centre and the vertical alignment centre. Just make it a bit bigger for now. And then in the main menu event, on the start of the layout, we will set that to the value in the dictionary. So now hopefully when we run that, that should display the high score. So let's start with a splash screen. Let's load it in. And there, currently we've not played the game or saved high score, so it's 0. We have a very quick play of the game. We've got a score of 50 now, so that's good enough for me. It's higher than the 0 that we currently had. And then game over. And now the high score's 50. So next time when I play the game, it should remember now. Actually, it won't remember because I've not saved it. Let me just check that. Yeah, it's reset, so we need to now save that. So in the same way in the splash screen, just find where it does it so I can copy it. That's what we're going to be doing, so I'll just copy that into the game event. Set item, name of the game is going to be Fire Clucker. That was suggested by Xanderwood, so I've gone with that one. There were a few suggestions and I couldn't come up with anything better myself, so that's what we've gone with. So that should now save that, so we'll test it again. So we've got 0 score. Quickly score some points. There we go. Let's kill ourselves. Game over. Saved it, hopefully this time. So when we launch the game again, we've got this 50 that we scored, so that's working fine. So that's one thing off the to-do list. Next up, also to the dictionary, I've added a music and SFX field so that we can set these to 0 and 1 as to whether the player wants the music or the SFX switched on or off. So we'll add the functionality for that now onto the menu for switching those on and off. Add a sprite for now. And we'll call it music button. I've got there. I'll just make it a small button for now. For now, set a green for on, red for off, and so I know it's the music, I'll just stick an M in the middle for now. Not a very good M at all, but it'll be functional. Set the speed to 0 so the animation's not playing, so I could just set individual frames based on the music variable. So now on the start of the level, I will set the button, the music button. We'll set the frame, and we'll set that to the dictionary game data, and we'll get the key, and we'll get the music key. So when we start the main menu, that is set to the music being off because I should be starting from the splash screen. So there, it's taken the value from the music field in the dictionary and set it to the on frame. So what I need to do now is add some functionality so that when you press that button, it changes. So we need the touch, so it's in the system objects. I use touch because it also simulates a mouse click as well, so if I put it on a mobile device, you can either use the touch or you can use the mouse on the PC. So untouched object, choose the music button, and what we need to do is untouched. We'll add a sub event, and we will check first of all if the music is currently playing. So dictionary, compare two values. First one being the dictionary. Get music, and if that's equal to 1 and therefore the music's currently playing, what we need to do is first of all set that key. So we'll get the dictionary and we will set the key, the music key, to 0 to show it's not playing. And then what we'll do, we'll add an else, because if the music isn't playing, we will then set it to 1. And after both things, we'll change, update the button frame animation. So let's just can quickly check that without having to load everything. Maybe I do have to. So now we can toggle that on and off. It's not doing anything with the actual music in the game, it's just setting that value, and we'll use that for the music. So on the start of the layout, what we're going to be doing is checking if the music needs to be playing as soon as it starts. I've already imported the music. Mighty Jor's provided 2 music tracks, one for the menu and one for the actual level itself. So first of all we will add an onStart of layout event. And we will check that same condition as to whether it's playing, and if so, need to add the audio object to the game. And if it is, we will play the menu music. We'll make that loop and we'll turn the volume down a little bit, and we will call that menu music. So when we leave the layout, what we want to do is stop that track playing. And called it menu music, so we will stop that. And here when we're toggling, the music's on, and then we turn it off, so we will add that in there. And in this bit, if the music's not playing, we will start playing the music. So I'm hopeful that should turn the music on and off. And that didn't seem to be working. Let's have a look. Hi Sticks, thanks for the lurk. Right, I've done something wrong in the logic there, let's have a look. I think it's probably just that I'm not coming from the splash screen and it's not populating the dictionary. I'll just turn off the background music from the stream. So yep, there you can just hear the music. Maybe I've got that a little bit too quiet, so we'll just make that a little bit louder. See what happens now. Yep, so the music's playing. And the music's not playing. So now what we need to do is have very similar logic to this for when the actual level starts. So I'll copy that and go into the game and level initialization. I'll add those into a sub event. That's just all the setup. It turns everything invisible and resets variables. Right, so now we're in this part. We need to check if the music's meant to be playing. If so, we need to play. Copied a load of stuff I didn't need to copy. I'm not setting any values, it's purely to start the music. And now it's the music, the level music, and we'll call that level music. So if we want the music on, start the level, it'll start playing that and it'll loop that until the end of the level. then what we need to do when we finish the level, we need to stop the music, because then when we go to the menu we will start playing the menu music. So just there, just before we exit the level, we'll stop the music, and we called it level music, so that is the music that we will stop playing. Level music, level music. So let's check if that music's now working. Let's play this. So the music's on there, and then when we get to the game itself, it's now playing the level music. I have to say, I do really like this music that Mighty Jor's made for the game. Let's kill myself. Now that music finishes and we're back to the menu music. So let's try it now. The music's turned off and there's no music plays when we go in the game. So that's so far so good. Right, what we will need to do is implement a similar thing for the sound effects. But first of all, I'll start adding some sound effects into the actual game. So we will start off with, let's have a look what sound effects I've actually got. Because I'm only allowed to use the ones that have been given for the challenge. So we've got a die sound, sorry if that was too loud. So die sound. An egg plop, so chicken lay egg. Oh, strange noises. Right, I think I'll use one each of those, one for the left egg and one for the right egg, or I may just use that first one because I did like that one. So, in the event eggs, when the egg is created, I'll just copy something that I'll need from the main menu. The egg spawn logic. Where do I actually play that? Where that? So that is where the egg spawned. I'm going to need to add a condition to check whether we want the sound effects played. Similar way to the music, it'll check if the variable in the dictionary is set to 1, and if so, we will play chicken lay egg, not looping. So that should hopefully now, if I play the game, whenever an egg is spawned, it should make that noise, because I'm pretty sure I've got it set to 1. Yep, you can just hear that in the background. So that's that working. Now I've got one sound effect working, I'm going to quickly add a button in the logic so I can turn it on and off. So we'll add another sprite. And we'll call this SFX button. screen. Just make that smaller. SFX, not very good at all, but it's only for me to use because it will be replaced by a proper sprite shortly. So when it's off, we'll fill that in, and when it's on it'll be green. We'll stop the animation playing so that we can set the frame again. Then in the main menu, it's going to be very similar to that, so the quickest way is just to duplicate it, and we will be doing that's all we'll be doing. We'll be setting that as well. So replace object with sprite music button. Let's change that to the sprite SFX button. And instead of checking the music key, we'll check the SFX key. Right. So we'll replace that object. The SFX button, and replace those two objects with that as well. The SFX button. You don't need to actually stop anything because it's only going to be used when we're trying to play one of the sound effects. So we need to set key SFX. We want to set key SFX. So that now when we start there will be another button there. It should be set, it should be green when we come in. Toggle it off but not on. What have I done wrong there? Should work this time. So yeah, we can toggle that on and off. So with it off, we shouldn't hear the egg sound when we're playing the game. And we can't. But if I now play it and then we have it on, we should hear it. Yeah, right, that's working fine. Right, let's have a look and chat. No, that's next up. Right, what other sound effects have we got? We've got a die sound, so pick up egg sound, and the switch. So we'll add a sound for the switch first of all. Eggs. So again, we'll just add that in there, but this time we will play the switch sound. So we've got a switch, we've got the egg spawning sound. Right, when the player picks up the egg, do we have a jump sound or anything like that? Right, I'm going to use that sound when the egg does its random jump. We'll just use one of the other sounds. Add that in there. So that's when the egg's jumping. We've got one when the egg's created. And now when the egg is collected, which is in the player logic. Should just be able to add the one in there, because all the different eggs, it has different logic depending on which egg you're collecting. So if we add the collecting, pick up. Right, let's just check that these all work. Right, we'll turn the background music off so that we can hear them better. So, lever. Got a lever noise, followed by the spawning. Right, the egg collection didn't play a sound. Yep, and it's playing the little sort of noise when it jumps over. They're all a little bit quiet, I think, but we'll leave them as that for now. I'll play with the volume after. So it's just the collection one that wasn't playing. If I had that in there, that should now work. I think I had it just so it was a child of the last event, so it was only going to play if it was the high scoring type of egg. Turn the music off, play. Now let's try collecting an egg. Yep, there we have the collection sound for the egg, so that's working. What we also need to do is actually save these values. It will get saved actually when the game saving the date then on the game over, but could do with saving it on the menu whenever either of these things change. So do that, then whenever we press a button and save it, its value should now save. So I'll check that works as well. Switch them both off. Now if I start the level again, hopefully they're both still off. Perfect. Just so when the player sets them off, they're not having to do it every time. It'll work each time they play. Right, let's continue adding some sound effects. So the enemies. For the player, there's a take damage sound there. So when the player collides with an enemy, or collision, present collision, fire, must be in the enemy script. Yeah, and it collides with the player. Take damage. Some collision with the player body. Could actually do with doing that straight away, so add those into a sub event, so straight away it'll play the sound. Right, in the player, when the player dies, we need to play. Have we got a death sound? Did I see? Egg spawn, catch fire, die. Not looping, die. Pop that there. Just move those down below so that it does everything in the order that I want to. Right, now on the main menu we've got a UI button, so right, so if it's currently 1, we want to play that audio sound. If they've not got it switched on, then we don't really want to be playing anything. Don't think, or do we? No, we'll do it that way. It's not going to be a die sound we need the UI button sound. And then the same thing. In that button. Let's just check that's working. Only play as if we're wanting it to. Right, so these are the buttons. Tidy this up and add a group for the music button and a group for the SFX button. Just keeps everything organised. So that's the SFX button. Close that down. The music button, and I'll pop that in there because that's logic to do with music as well. Now, when the play button's pressed, untouched. Check that works how it should do, and it plays when we press the play button. Waste of 30 minutes that was. I can imagine. I'll let you tell me all about it later if you want to. So that's the wrong sound playing, but at least it's playing. We don't want the die sound, we want the UI button sound. And then the same thing when the how to play button was pressed. Pull those down into that event there. So that button should now play as well. And then we need to do the same thing on the how to play page when we press this button to come back. So we'll add a blank sub event, paste that in, and pull those down to there, and that should mean that we've now got all the menu sounds playing. Right, so the button plays, turn the sound effects off, no sound, and no sound. Right, need to add a sound when the player fires his weapon now. Player bullets, keyboard controls. And we will play. Have we got a fire sound? No, I've not been given a fire sound. So we will use let's see what that sounds like. It's one that I've not used, so I'm trying to use all the sounds. So yeah, that sounds a bit like a firing sound. We'll go with that one, why not? Right, so play that. And then that'll be me nearly done for this stream. I'll also check this is working. Made quite a bit of progress, got these sound effects sort of and the music working in the game. Got these high score updating and displaying on the main menu. So stop that music. Yep, that's all working. So things still need to do. I still need to limit the distance that the bullets go because I don't want them to just keep going indefinitely. I want them to stop after a certain timeout period. I've got how to play menu still to do, but apart from that, pretty much the game is in the finished state that it's going to be for the challenge. So I probably won't live stream anymore, but what I'll do, I'll get a devlog up over the next few days, just a shortened version of the whole process, and then you can check out the finished game. I'll get that uploaded to itch, so that should be on itch by the end of the week as well. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Oh, hiyo, Just Chodya. You've just caught me at the end of the stream. I'm planning on streaming again tonight as well. That'll be development of my game Ghost Blaster. Probably be between 8 and 9 o'clock tonight UK time. I'll be on again streaming the development of that. So if anybody wants to pop by then, and if you want to subscribe, you'll get notified whenever I go live.